Well folks, today we're on a bit of a mission. I need to find about £300 worth of value from my existing movie collection. So I've long been saying that I want to curate my collection and cull some of the rubbish that I've been holding onto over the years. Well, the time has come that I kind of need the money. In order to free up that money, I'm going to be hitting the collection pretty hard. When I started YouTube, I promised the wife that in doing these YouTube videos, I'd never be out of pocket. Well, it's come to a point now that I want some new editing software because I want to make my videos better. In order to not go out of pocket, I need to hit this collection and see if I can get around £300 of value. Now my collection, it could take a big hit and I could lose a lot of titles, but I want that editing software. Some of the titles will be easily replaceable over time, some not so much, so I've got to be careful what I'm getting rid of and for what reason. Let's get on with it. Here we go. So first up, I've got a big box of titles that I've just not had a chance to organise onto the shelves. Some I was going to sell, some needed organising. It's just a mishmash of stuff, so we need to dig through this first before we start hitting our shelves. I've got things like the Big Lebowski Digibook. I've got the 4K of this. I'll have a think about it. Terminator 2 Skynet Edition. There's the 4K out, but is it worth keeping the Blu-ray? I don't know. I can go. It's going. Going. Gone. Got a special limited edition of Revenge. It's a movie that I've watched once. I thought it was okay. I don't feel in a desperate need to go back to it. I don't feel in a desperate need to carry on owning it. Not sure what it's worth, but it's a limited edition, so could be about 20 quid there. We'll see. Nightbreed, the import from Scream Factory. This one's still sealed because I had the Arrow version. This one has the cable cut, or cable cut. I'm not sure if I want to keep it at all. To be honest, I rewatched it and it's not that good of a movie for me. I don't think I need to see it again. I don't think I have any interest in watching any other cuts. So that's another one that can go. It can't go to CEX, but could fetch an okay amount on eBay. We'll have to do a bit of a research and have a look. Armour of God is one that I managed to double dip on. It's the special limited edition. I'm sure that could fetch an okay amount as well. Street Fighter, the Van Damme movie. It's crap. It's limited, but it sucks. Wild Things was a double dip. Way of the Gun, I've now got a better edition, so that's a double dip. Almost Famous was a double dip. Monster Squad, I've got the new version from Kino, double dip. Boogie Nights, I've got another one, double dip. Roadhouse, I've got the Kino release, or is it Vinegar Syndrome? I've got the newer release on 4K, that's a double dip. I think there should be some okay value between a couple of those. Trancers, that can go. Passengers 4K, I'm not bothered about watching it again. I'm not bothered if I've got it physical. It can go. Castle Freak can go. Wolfman's Got Nards, that's another duplicate because it's on the Kino release, so I don't need to keep hold of that. We're already getting to quite a pile. DVDs Near Dark, the Catherine Bigelow movie. Not got a decent Blu-ray release. There is a Blu-ray out there, but it's out of print now, so it's expensive. It's a DVD that I'm kind of tempted to keep in the collection until there's a new Blu-ray out, so that can stop in here. The Arrow release of Nightbreed. I don't think I need to keep it at all. It could probably get some decent value out of there. Changeling Limited, that can go. That doesn't need to be in the collection. I've not watched it since I've owned it. What's the point? Tales of Halloween. Now, I think there's some quite decent value in that, but again, it's another I have digital, so the physical copy has just never been unsealed. Black Hat was another one I managed to double dip on, the Arrow release. That should still hold some pretty decent value, so I think we could be onto something here, just sorting through just this box. Not even started to look at the shelves yet. Friday the 13th collection is staying, the Halloween collection is staying. Down at the bottom there I've got the Stranger Things VHS Blu-rays. They're staying as well, I really enjoy those, but looking at the rest of the shelf, got a horror collection going on here. I think most of that can stay, but I know there's quite a bit of value in one of the releases that is down here, and it's still sealed up. It's a Rattler. God damn it, one of the discs is loose. 28 days and 28 weeks later. Paid £4 for it. It's fetching a pretty penny at the moment because 28 days later has been deleted, so it's pretty hard to get hold of. It's one that I can see a re-release pretty imminently, with talk of the threequel 28 years later. So there could be some decent value in that, and expecting a re-release, I can lose it for a few months or years. Another title there could be some potential value in is the Guest 4K edition. Now, I'd be tempted to get rid of this because on my shelf I have the normal Blu-Ray and the 4K edition. Is there any need for both? Now, since I've had this, it's not really been out of its packaging, and I don't think it will be. I won't particularly make use of the CD. I'm not particularly interested by much that's in the book. It is pretty, it is a nice edition. Everything that I need is on here, the standard edition. So I might as well get the value out of this and let it go. It's a great movie, love it. I want to keep the movies, except for the third one. Now the individual releases on there, this is still sealed up, by the way. I don't know if it's worth just keeping the original first two and seeing if I can sell the third individually. I don't know if there's any value in doing that, so I might have a look on eBay to see if it's worth doing, or I might just take a punt and give it a try anyway. In a similar way, the Urban Legend trilogy, the first Urban Legend is stacked with extra features. They're really, really good, but I don't see much value in the sequel or the threequel. There's not much on there, and I'm really not interested in the slightest in the third one. And the second one, I wasn't keen on anyway, so take it or leave it. I might separate those down and sell off the sequel and threequel individually. The Thing 4K, I've got numerous releases of The Thing. I don't particularly need to keep this. I've got the 4K digitally, I've got the Arrow release, I've got the Scream Factory release, so having an additional 4K should be 20-30 quid in that, hopefully, so I think that can go as well. Now, one I'm particularly torn with, this lovely Dawn of the Dead box set. It's a really nice box set. It's still sealed. It has been for months, and I've got very little interest in going back and rewatching it. If I wanted a zombie film now, I tend to head for anything else, where the zombies aren't painted blue and the gore effects are a lot better. I like the more modern zombie films now, so it's rare that I actually want to go back to this. Is it worth keeping this big, nice box set? Or should I sell it, get the value out of it, and if the temptation ever hits again, I could buy a basic set. I don't know. We're going to put this in a pile, value things up, and consider moving this on as well. I'm trying to get down low for the Scream Factory collection. So the Scream Factory ones, I was big at collecting the releases. I wanted every new release at one point. I've already cut them down a little bit, but now I want to look a bit closer because they generally hold pretty good value because they are imported and there's not a lot of them available in the UK. I don't really need to keep that. I think that one can go. Dreamscape, there is a UK edition, so I think I can let that go. It's still sealed, so obviously not that much interest in watching it because it would have been watched already. Tales from the Crypt movies, I don't 100% know why I bought them. I've not got much interest in going back to them. They can go. Creepshow box set, I'm going to see what value is in that before I decide to get rid. It could be potential for leaving this place. I did the rather silly thing as well. 88 Films Van Damme collection. I've already seen I've got Street Fighter. A couple I do want to keep hold of because they have sentimental reasons. But along this bottom shelf we've got a mixture of movies. I mean, there's some value in here. Frequency. I think that's deleted now and it's fetching upwards of £30 odd, but I really like the movie, so I'd like to keep that in my collection if I can. Really fun movie. Cellular with Jason Statham and Captain America. I think that was pretty fun as well. Night and Day, it's one that I'd go back to. One of my favourites. Three Kings, underrated. I think it's great. If you've not seen it, don't sleep on it, give it a try. Could be due for an upgrade, but I think it's pretty worthless to sell. I think it's only worth very, very little, probably 10 pence trade in at CEX, so it can stop in my collection until I get the 4K version. If I get the 4K version. Still love that one as well. I could stop on my shelf. No. There we have it. So I've partially gone through one room and I've picked out a few things that are kind of obvious for me to look at getting rid of. I've got a second room with the same amount of discs in there, and I know there are a couple of sets that I want to pull out and look at selling as well, so I'm going to grab those now. Not going to take the camera in with me because it's a bloody mess in there. So there's that thing with being a movie collector. There's certain box sets or certain titles that you feel like you have to have in your collection, and I got a few sets like that. I felt I needed to have in the collection to prove myself as a film fan and a movie collector. The Alfred Hitchcock Masterpiece Collection. It's a nice set, it's got some decent movies, but still sat here sealed. It's never a collection of movies that I ever want to delve into when I've got the choice of whatever I want to watch. Yes, I'm a movie fan, yes, I'm a movie collector, but if it's going to sit here sealed and I'm picking a repeat view of something else over a Hitchcock movie, then that might as well go. With the collecting of Hitchcock films, I got his other box sets as well, because we all need to make up a collection. We've got this set here, and I got the To Catch a Thief, because it wasn't in the box set. Then I got the movie about Hitchcock. In a similar way, there was this nice box set for the Clint Eastwood 20 movie collection. Now, a few of these I did want to watch, a couple I wanted to rewatch, but it's a nice set, but I can't see me wanting to dig into it. I'm not that big of a Clint Eastwood fan. I think it's worth an okay amount. We'll have a look at that in a moment. And again, because I went a little mad as a collector, I felt like I needed everything. Another Clint Eastwood box set that's still sat sealed. Yet another box set. They've been sealed for years, so I'm going to see if there's any value in these and see if we can get up to that target. So kids, here we have it. A slightly culled collection. Hoping that there's some value in some of these so I can get towards my target. I really want that editing software, so if this can be some easy transactions somewhere, it'll help me along, but I'm going to do the research, see what we're worth, and see if it's going to be trade-ins at CEX, sales on Marketplace, or sales on eBay. Not sure off the top of my head which will be better, but we're going to have a look into that. So I've not been all the way through my collection yet. Now, in order to try and value them and price them, I'm going to use some price comparison between CEX and eBay and try and get an idea of what to list the items at and where to either list them or sell them. Yeah, so it's going to be fun going from one site to another, but I need to get them priced. I need to put some fair prices on there to get them sold to try and get towards my £300 target. Spectacles. One thing, it's always worth checking on eBay the sold prices. The listing prices are what obviously some people are listing at and that they want to get the maximum value out of, but I find it's a lot better to look at the sold prices because it shows what people are willing to pay. I'm not going to overprice myself. I want to get these things sold, so I need to set a fair price. So looking at sold prices hopefully gives me that little. The Revenge limited edition that I've got that I'm looking at selling, someone's listed it at £120. That seems ridiculous. Sorry, someone has got 120 for that. That is a sold listing. £120 someone paid. I don't think I'll touch that. I think listing it around 40 or 50 pounds should be okay. And perhaps the suckiest job of selling things on eBay or other selling sites is having to photograph things and get them listed. It's kind of like pulling teeth at times, especially when you've got quite a number that you want to go through. So I'm going to crack on with the listing. Hopefully it doesn't take me all evening. Here we are, the next day. It did take me all evening to list some of these titles, and some of this morning too. I think I've listed enough now that should get me up to my target. So now it's just a waiting game. They're all on auction. The auction will end in 10 days. So got a little bit of time to wait. I guess we'll see.